Hi, I'm Scott Folk from Apex Tactical Specialties. Today we're going to show you how to use the Apex Polymer M&P and Glock Armorer's Block. The first thing I want to show you about the Armorer's Block is the movable bosses. You can see two here that have nuts and bolts in them that hold them in place. When you need to move one, just loosen it, slide it around to wherever it needs to be, and tighten it back down. And it'll hold in place while you work on the frames. In the case of the 45 M&P, we'll set the frame on, get it in position where we want it. I'll move the boss into position and lock it down. Same thing on the opposite. Move it in and lock it down. Now at this point I have the frame securely located in the block so I can press the pins out. The next frame I'll show you is the Glock Model 17. You'll notice that it doesn't quite fit the block the same way. So I'll loosen the two bosses as needed. I'll put the frame where I want it, and I'll move the bosses in position to lock it down. With the Glock frame on here, when I flip it over, you can see the frame pins are in the correct position so that they can be removed from the frame without interfering with the block or hitting the table. The next frame we'll show you is the 9mm M&P thumb safety frame. So I'll put the frame on the block, I'll move the bosses into position and lock them in place. And when I flip the block over, you'll notice that the thumb safety paddles drop into the holes in the frame no matter what position the thumb safeties are in. Up or down, it drops right through. And you still have accessibility to press your pins out. Before we jump into how to change the striker springs, I want to give a quick demonstration of the differences in the strikers. The one on your right is the 45 striker. It has a gray sleeve and has a larger bump on the side. The 943/57 striker has a white sleeve and has no bump on the side. This does make a difference when you're using it on the Armorer's Block. You'll notice that the non-movable boss has a little hole and notch in it. That's specifically designed to hold the striker while you replace the spring. So in the case of the 45, we drop the 45 striker in, we pull the spring down, we will remove the sleeve, let the spring off. We'll replace the spring with a new one and put it right back on. And the block just conveniently holds the striker so it doesn't fly out of your hands while you're working on it. On the opposite side, we have a similar notch without the wider notch that works for the 9mm striker. And it's the same process. Pull the spring down, take the sleeve, raise it up and pull it off, release the spring, put a new one on, and replace it. This same boss also works for the Glock Striker. It fits a little tighter though, but it does the same thing. You pull the springs down, remove the cups, and replace them as needed. Some of the guys on the internet also have noted so far that the Glock Striker fits very well into the corner and does the same kind of thing. So you can use either the non-movable boss or any of the corner supports to hold your Glock Striker while you work on the spring. The next feature we'll show you is the raised up portion of the block that holds the trigger body while you remove and install a new trigger bar. So we'll take the factory trigger and trigger body, set it into the block, press it all the way down. I'll take my pin punch and I will tap the pin down until it frees the trigger bar from the trigger body. At that point the trigger bar comes right out. Flip the block over. I'll take my new Apex trigger, drop it into the block, and take the new trigger bar and slide it into the recess in the back of the trigger. And then I'll proceed to press the pin downward with a hammer. And then once I get to that point, I'll just tap it all the way down, seat it below flush, and we're all done. This concludes the demonstration video of the use of the Apex Polymer M&P and Glock Armorer's Block. If you have any questions or concerns during the use of this block, feel free to contact us at any time. Our contact information can be found on the back of the Armorer's Block.